As soon as I got back to my room and flopped down on the bed and stretched out as far as I could. And I literally stretched my limbs like 10 feet. As it turns out, Saki was made of rubber this entire time. Yeah, she's actually... that she has superpowers. I was so tense all day yesterday, it's probably good I got a day to rest up and relax. I talked to the piglets and took care of Mitarashi. Oh yeah, he told me about his parents. His parents died in an accident, but he's dealt with that and moved on with his life. He's got kind of a short temper, but he's always thinking about other people. He's about as subtle as a brick, but he probably died to protect any of us. Darn, looking after him for a day doesn't even come close to paying him back. Although, I mean, that's true, but I'm also just kind of curious, I guess. I wish I could talk to somebody about this. I sighed and looked over at my phone. Oh, I wonder if Uncle Keiji's doing alright. I rolled over and started composing a message. First, I asked if he was doing okay, then gave him a brief summary of what was going on, although I kind of glossed over the explosion so he wouldn't worry. And don't worry about that giant explosion that you heard outside. Just don't worry about it. When I got to the end, I realized that nearly half my message was about Mitarashi. Although, I mean, he put himself in harm's way to save me, and he was the first to fight for Budabe. Was it really any surprise that I ended up talking about him a lot? I wrote a bit too much, though, so after some quick edits, I hit send and rolled back over. Well, that's done. Maybe I should go get mine. Oh, hold on. I scrambled out of bed and walked over to the door. Waiting on the other side was Mai. Oh, good. I was just about to go get you. She looked pretty excited. I guess she had a good time. What did you two talk about?
舞が砂のお城を作るのが得意だって言ったら、お兄ちゃんもお店でお山作るのが得意なんだって。
Mountains? Does he mean like those weird... I guess the ones where you like you make a pyramid with a bunch of like wine glasses or something? Is that what he's talking about? Making mountains? Wait, there's no Santa Club. What's she talking about?
コップを高く積み上げて、
yeah.
上からお酒を注いで遊ぶお山。
That's a thing. I guess not really wine. I mean, I don't know. I know what you call them, but you know, alcohol glasses for like alcoholic beverages. You know, like make it like a weird pyramid, just pour it all the way down. Kind of like fondue. You know, you kind of like fondue, sort of. Not really. Oh.
お兄ちゃん、お店で一番そのお山作ってるから得意だって自慢してた。
It's just like it's a party trick, I guess. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I've only seen them on TV, but I think she's talking about those towers of wine glasses that you pour champagne in. Yeah, it was wine glasses. I'm not crazy.
お酒飲める年になったら、前にもやってくれるって。
Get him started young, huh, Mr. Number One Escort? Probably have to pay for that service, though.
早く大きくなって、お兄ちゃんにお山作ってもらいたい
I don't know about that. I don't know if Mai should go into his host club. She looks so happy, though. I gotta admit, I feel just a bit envious. She rubbed her eyes. I glanced over at the clock. It was almost midnight. Oh geez, look at the time. We should get in bed. We climbed under the covers together and I was asleep before my head hit the pillow. Okay, we'll just skip this. I assume the next stage. Wow. As soon as we woke up, we both headed for Mitarashi's room.
Oh,
thanks, Hey, are you sure you should be up and around already? I had opened the door to find him in the middle of the floor doing his squats.
昨日は寝たきりだったからな。ちょっとでも体を動かしとかねえとな。
お兄ちゃん、元気になったの？
ああ、見ての通り元気だぜ。前にも心配かけちまったからな。 今日からバリバリ行くぜ。
What about your fever? Has it gone down?
なんなら確かめてみるか？
He grinned and shoved his face toward mine until it was only inches away. Exclamation mark.
は？俺よかお前の方が熱あるんじゃねえの？
His face is so close, but I should check and see if his fever's gone. I tried to avoid looking into his eyes as I pressed a slightly shaking hand to his forehead. It doesn't feel as warm as it did yesterday, but I guess it's gone down.
まあ、そんなに顔を真っ赤にしてちゃよくわからねえよな。
I don't have a response for that. Well, actually, yeah, her face would look like a tomato, you know, her hairstyle. Anyway, he smiled impishly and took an obvious purposeful step back. Mai looked at us and tilted her head.
ねえ、チューしないの？
You're not gonna chew? Mai, what? No, it's not. I mean, I would never.
そこまで全力で否定することねえだろ。
But no, he just laughed. Mai had already climbed up onto the bed and was totally absorbed in a picture book. She's just off in her own little world.
熱も下がったことだし、これなら復帰できるってもんだ。
I'm glad you're feeling better. Well, he does look better than he did yesterday. He had enough energy to start exercising at least.
さて、ロビーに行きゃ誰かいるだろう。さっさと元気な姿見せて安心させてやらねえとな。
Wait,
あ？どうした？
well, we need to change your bandage.
そうだいね。面倒っちゃ面倒だな。もう治っちまってるようなもんなのに。
Well, if it's too much trouble for you, I can do it. Actually, I want to do it. Changing a bandage isn't quite saving someone's life, but at least it's something.
仕方ね。そこまで言うならよろしく頼むとするか。
He slumped down the bed.
救急箱は部屋の隅の方にあったはずだぜ。昨日指導が持ってきたんだ。まったく、あいつも意外と心配性で困っちまうよな。
Super cock. Sure, to keep telling yourself that. I can see you're plenty happy he worries about you. Ship. I found the kid where he said it would be and pulled out a fresh bandage. You know, that's the bad ending in Mitarashi's route. Instead of ending up with Saki, he ends up with Shido. You know, that's what happened. Anyway. Alright, are you ready?
おうよ。
He peeled his shirt off, leaving him naked above the waist. I guess answered. Whoa, he must have really worked out. He's so manly. My god. Stop it, this isn't time to be thinking about how incredibly toned his back is and...
どうした？ぼーっとして。
Nothing, I'm fine. Perfectly fine. You know, we don't got a CG for that? I guess not. I hastily began to peel off the old bandage. Underneath it, his injuries still looked raw and painful. He said he was better, but this isn't the kind of thing you just recover from in a day or two. I'm going to sterilize it so he won't get infected, okay?
ありがとな。昨日のことといい、お前には感謝してるぜ。
He didn't turn out to be anything like what I thought when I met him. He looked, well, he looked scary, but he's actually pretty nice. Yeah, that's I mean, I was actually gonna, I was expecting when I first saw it, my first impression, that he was just gonna be a typical like bad boy, the bad boy cliche, where obviously, you know, they just act like an asshole to everybody, except, you know, whoever they like, basically, whoever they get romantically interested in, you know, that's the, you know, cliche romance thing. But I guess not, he's actually not like an asshole to everybody, just Shido, you know, at least in the beginning anyway. I remember when he put his face so close to mine and started to blush again. As quickly as I could, I finished disinfecting the cut and covered it back up with a clean bandage. Okay, all done. You're all bandaged up. That done, I scuttled backwards across the room, away from him.
すまねえな、面倒かけて。さあ、とっとと行くとするか。
Let's blow this popsicle stand. You know, what does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means. It means, you know, let's leave. But like, what's the origin of that phrase? I have no idea, actually. What do you mean blowing a popsicle stand? Like blow it up with explosion?
ない。お腹すいた。
Oh yeah, we didn't eat before we came over here. I'm feeling kind of hungry too.
んだよ。そういうことは先に言えよな。飯食ってからロビーに向かうか。
Just then, one of the piglets showed up with food for all three of us. Maybe he'd been waiting outside the door for our conversation to be over? In any event, we quickly finished off our breakfast and headed off into the lobby.
待たせだな。
もう体は大丈夫なのか。
およ、ご覧の通り完全復活だ。
He grinned and struck a couple poses.
うわ
こっち見て。
本当に治ったの？昨日は起きられなかったのに。
I'm just reminded of the wrestling mini game, you know, the reporter and wrestler mini game in Rhythm Heaven. You know, what did you say? Like, tiki desu ka? Oh, sugoi desu ne. You know.
すごい回復力。ほう、体を鍛えてるっていうのは嘘じゃないみたいだな。けどさ、そんなにいきなりはしゃいで大丈夫なの？
お前らとは鍛え方が違うんだよ。このぐらいの怪我、一日寝てれば余裕で治っちまうってもんだ。
I guess you see, he's a Saiyan, you know, like in Dragon Ball Z. He just recovers really quickly, and then he gets a power up, you know, once he recovers from a near-death experience. That worked. He drew himself up and puffed out his chest. He's gonna go Super Saiyan.
それで、みたらし流星、今日からゲームに戻るつもりなのか
？Shido looked especially serious. He seems to be the only one who's worried that Mitarashi might just be acting tough.
それなんだけどよ。俺はまだゲームに戻るつもりはねえんだ。
Nani? Naze? No, why?
やっぱり怪我が治ってないってこと？
ちげえよ。そうじゃなくて。
Well, no, he's gonna look for Urube, right? Is that usually he does around this time? He took a deep breath and looked at all of us.
俺はゲームに戻るより先に浦部のやつを探したいんだ。
Yep.
え？
Are you serious?
そういうことか。
Shido seemed unsurprised.
ああ。浦部の数珠がちぎれて落ちてたってのが気になる。多分無理やり連行されるとかして数珠がちぎれちまったわけだろ。
Was that word wouldn't of? Wouldn't of just dropped them. I mean, is that grammatically correct? I don't know. Wouldn't of. Wouldn't of. Can you do that? Are you allowed to do that with contraction? Wouldn't of. Wouldn't of. Wouldn't have. I figured he wouldn't have just dropped them, right? I guess it kind of makes sense. Sounds right.
確かにそう考えるのが妥当だな。
だったら
まあ待て。数珠が落ちてたこともワルド部が演出したブラフという可能性もある。
そんなこと疑ってて、もし浦部が捕まって拷問でも受けてたらどうするんだよ。
But what if it is? You know, we can go all day about what ifs, what if not. Shibe frowned and scratched his beard.
落ち着けみたらし流星。俺たちだって浦部君丸のことを心配していないわけじゃない。
じゃあどうして慎重になる必要がある？
このゲームは命がかかっているんだ。迂闊な行動で全員を道連れにするわけにはいかない。人質もいるんだぞ。
For a moment, I saw my uncle's face. He frowned and swore, but he knew Shido was right. Shidobe coughed and looked around awkwardly.
お前には臆病に見えるかもしれないが、誰かが臆病なほど疑い深くなった方がいい時もある。
You can't lose a fight you don't get into in the first place. I mean, I follow that philosophy,
だが
actually. But, apparently.
だが
He grinned.
もともとお前が回復するまでゲームは俺たちだけでやるつもりだった。全員がゲームを投げ出して浦部君丸を捜索するわけにはいかないが、お前が探してくれる分には問題ない。
感謝するぜ、スバル。
Okay, then what was all that, you know? He was just gonna agree anyway in the end, I guess. He smiled and gave Shido a friendly punch on the shoulder.
まったく慣れ慣れしいやつだ。
慣れ慣れしくするのも仕事なんだよ。
まあいい。他のみんなもこいつが抜けることに依存はないか。
なんだかんだ言って心配だもんね。
僕も依存ないよ。
さっきはあんな言い方になったが、俺も依存はないさ。どうも年を取ると疑い深くなっていかんと思っちゃいるんだが。
調べさんのようなスタンスもチームにとっては必要だ。誰も彼もがこいつのようにストレートに物事を考えていたら、今頃俺たちはクリアに失敗しているだろう。
Ah, hilarious.
言えてる。
んだと？7人全員俺だったら力ずくでワルドブーのとこ目指してやるぜ。
You just imagine like 6 Mitarashis. I don't know. Would they all just like cover each other from arrows or something? 'Cause that's probably what would happen. They would just cover each other, you know, from being hit by those arrows, and then they will all just be injured.
武闘家タイプばかりじゃクリアは難しいってよくわかるね。
Yeah, you need your clerics, you need your DPS.
そういうわけだ。調べさん、あなたは引き続き経験と知識を生かしてほしい。
ああ、そう言ってもらえると助かるね。亀の甲より年の甲とも言うしな。
パパ、この中で一番おじさん？
I don't know, he's only 32. I don't know how much wisdom he would have.
痛いとこつくな。はい。
So I guess Mai is like, I guess indirectly insulting him by saying he's so old. Yeah. I guess they are all worried about Urabe.
ともかく浦部のことはお前に任せる。頼んだぞ。
He reached over and gave Mitarashi a reassuring pat on the shoulder.
任せとけ。
Wait, did he just sway a little bit? Or was I seeing things?
とっととゲームに復帰するためにも浦部を見つけねえとな。
Something's not right. It's like, okay, good luck. Goodbye. Are you sure you're okay? No, I'm pretty sure I saw him wobble when Shirabe touched him. Are you sure you're okay? I thought I saw you wobble a little when Shirabe touched you.
別になんともねえって。
He looked away awkwardly.
なら確かめるだけだ。
What were you gonna do, Shiro? Just punch him in the face? He walked up to Mitarashi and shoved the same shoulder Shirabe had patted.
おっと。
He wobbled, staggered backward, and fell to the floor. It's just like a small push.
お前はこの程度の力で小づいたくらいでふらつくような男だったのか？
くそ。誰じゃ仕方ねえか。熱は下がっても体力がまだ回復しきれてねえんだよ。情けねえけどな。
He gave me a bitter smile.
たく
I outed him. Haha, you're right.
ごまかせると思ったんだけどな。お前の勘の良さには負けるぜ。
Get heart though.
体力が戻ってないんだったらさ、まだ安静にしてなきゃまずいんじゃないの？
だけどよ、浦部が仲間の一人が命の危機にさらされてるかもしれねえんだ。しかも俺たちの命を救おうとしたせいでよ。
それはそうだけど。
体力が回復してねえくらい俺にとっちゃ何の障害にもならねえ。昨日一日おとなしくしてただけでも 我慢した方だ。こんな怪我くらいでこれ以上寝てられるか。
Mitarashi. No one seems to know what to say. He feels bad for just sitting around where it's safe, but
聞け、体調が万全ではない状態で。
止めても無駄だ。俺は浦部を探しに行く。たとえ倒れようとも絶対にだ。
oh, time to get angry. It's like no, and then we we go around his back, grab his stomach, and then do a suplex. You know, okay, I know how he feels, but he's being ridiculous. Even if it kills me, what is he thinking? I'm getting kind of sick of this. Get mad. It looks different when he is in the shock animation, I guess.
すまね
I know you're worried about Urube, but we're worried about you too.
その通りだ。こんな状態で無理をして、もし倒れたりしたら元も子もない。
確かにな。ちょっと頭に血が上っちまってたみてえだ。
浦部君丸を探すより先に、まずは自分の体力を回復させることに集中しろ。
くそ。
He grimaced and flexed his hands. I could see that he knew we were right, even if he didn't like it.
気休めってわけじゃないが、仮に浦部が捕らえられていたとしても、ワルド部はまだ手を出してないだろう。
どういうことだ。
あくまで推測でしかないが。
He frowned and tapped absently at his forehead.
ワルド部のこれまでの行動からしても、もし浦部を手にかけたなら、俺たちに言わないはずがない。俺たちを動揺させてゲームを楽しむってのがやっこさんのやり口だからな。
そりゃそうかもしれないけどよ。今まさに命の危機かもしれねえって時に何もしないなんてできねえよ。
Shido had been watching Mitarashi for a while, but after the last outburst, he turned to me.
悪いが、お前もここに残ってくれないか。
Of course, because this is the anytime there's a certain route, you always are forced to be with that person. Obviously. What?
このまま奴を一人でホテルに残しておいたら、泳いで岸に渡ったりしかねない。見張りにはお前が適任だと思うが、引き受けてくれるか。
He's got a point. Swimming off to find Nurube sounds exactly like something Mitarashi would do. Okay, sure.
はあ？見張り？別にそんな必要ねえだろ。
念のためだ。ともかくゲームのことは俺たちに任せて、お前は休んでおけ。
We really are just twiddling our thumbs in the hotel, it seems like, for most of this route. Ironically, even though
お
Mitarashi
兄ちゃんと一緒
would seem like, the most actionable person to do action scenes, I guess not. You just stay here all day.
ああ、そうだな。今日もお兄ちゃんの看病を頼めるか？
看病する。
結局昨日と同じメンツかよ。
Deja vu. I'm in this place again, high on the street. It looked like he finally given in.
その代わり俺のいないところでクリア失敗したら承知しねえからな。
I mean, how are you gonna do that? They're gonna be dead. They're gonna go after them in the afterlife? After a few goodbyes, they left, and we headed back to Mitarashi's room. Well,
たく情けねえぜ。
nothing to do but, sit around here. He must have been really tired because as soon as we got back to his room, Mitarashi climbed into his bed and pulled the covers up over himself. I guess he's really upset we didn't get to go look for Urube. But he needs to get better first.
お兄ちゃん寝ちゃった？
I think he is. We should probably let him rest, okay?
しとく。
I want to wake him up, so do you want to come back to my room with me?
ここがいい。
Why?
マイ、お兄ちゃんの近くにいる。静かに絵本読んでるから。
Ah, that's adorable. She must be really worried about him. Well, I guess Shido did ask me to keep an eye on him, so I have an excuse to, just like creepily stare at him while he's sleeping. Yes, that's what Saki will do. Alright, that sounds like a good idea. We'll stay here.
そうする。
Mai carefully and purposely pulled a picture book from her backpack, sat down against Mitarashi's bed, and began to read. I wish I had something to do. If only I had like the what was it? What was the Game Boy equivalent thing? The portable game system, the mail she gave Saki in his route. I wish we had that, I guess I could mess around on my cell phone. Wait, I don't have it? Oh jeez, I must have left it in my room. Uncle Keiji's probably responded by now. Mai, I forgot something in my room. Is it okay if I run back and get it?
大丈夫。
Thank you, I'll be right back. Mitarashi is sleeping, he won't even notice I'm gone. Let's go get my cell phone, do a quick 10 roll, fake go, no. It took me only a few seconds once I got back to my room to find my phone. Looks like he did text me back. Actually, I think last night's text was mostly about Mitarashi. Oh gosh, I feel kind of embarrassed now. I wonder what he said though. I sat down in my bed and started to read. He was glad we were doing alright, but as it turned out, most of his message was about Mitarashi too. More of this. More of Keiji Inafune's words of wisdom.
このどこか冷めた世の中でストレートに感情を出し体を張って仲間を守れるようなやつは本当に珍しい。人との出会い、つながりは大切にするべきだ。それはきっと。
Should you really be thinking about this? Should he be advising Saki about getting a boyfriend in this life or death situation? I feel like this is not. I mean, he even says like this is hardly an ideal situation. I'm really worried about that. Anyway, I noticed myself in agreement, as if this is like as if that's actually the point of the game, though. Ironically, or at least a big part of the game. He's totally right. Mitarashi's a really good friend, but I felt something scratching in the back of my mind. Is he really just a friend? I mean, he is a friend, a great one, but something was bothering me. I just couldn't put my finger on it. No point in thinking about it, though. I should get back to Mitarashi's room. Okay. Oh, Mai's asleep. Reading must have tired it out. It was just too boring. And Mitarashi is... The bed he'd been in when I left was empty. He's been kidnapped. Oh no. Oh no, he's gone. Where did he go? You didn't do your job, Mai. You're fired. My voice had woken Mai up.
お姉ちゃん？
Oh, sorry for waking you up, Mai. Do you know where Mitarashi went?
お兄ちゃん？わかんない。
She yawned and rubbed at her eyes.
でも夢の中でお兄ちゃんに頭撫でられた。
Oh yeah?
それでね、前に子守歌歌ってくれて、こっそり部屋から出て行ったの。
Oh, that wasn't a dream. If I had to guess. I don't think that was a dream. He probably just didn't wake up all the way. Oh jeez, I hope he hasn't done anything stupid, like swimming across the lake. Mai, I need you to stay here for a little bit, okay?
わかった。
I should have known he wouldn't give up that easily. I need to find him before he gets hurt. He could have made it far. I hadn't been gone long, and the hotel had already left the dock. I decided to start with the lobby. He's swimming right now. Doing like... Huh? I was gonna say he was doing like breaststrokes or whatever. What do you what's the fastest way to like swim? I don't know. As soon as I got there, I found him. He seemed to have gotten into an argument with two of the piglets. Mitarashi. Ah, jeez, I don't think he can hear me.
なんだと？無理だってのかよ。
This was apparently the last straw. Mitarashi lunged forward to grab the piglet. The other piglet grabbed Mitarashi and attempted to keep him from punching his friend. He's just brawling. Ow. With a roar, he threw both of them across the room. This is WrestleMania. He's still hurt. If he keeps doing stuff like that, he's gonna get really in trouble. You know, don't you worry about the piglets? I mean, we don't. I guess in this timeline right now, we don't really know if the piglets are innocent or not. But again, technically they are. They are innocent. You know, I just remember that one time Shido like shot the. I mean, I guess he didn't know, but you know, he technically did shoot one of the piglets. You know, which were just innocent people. Again, he's beating them up. I'm worried about the piglet. I broke into a run. Mitarashi, stop!
お前が見ただろさっきの。もう体力も完全に回復したぜ。
What are you talking about? You can barely breathe.
どうってことないぜこんくらい。
Look, just calm down, okay? I frowned at him for several moments while he caught his breath. So, why were you about to punch that guy?
んなもん決まってるじゃないか。ホテルを岸につけるよう頼んでたんだ。さすがの俺も泳いで岸まで渡るだなんて無茶な真似はできねえからな。
Are you sure? Yeah, maybe you should try. But you are crazy enough to throw a couple of piglets around.
でも何を言っても取り合ってくれねえからよ。俺もついカッとなって。
You know, Saki, are you sure you want to be, you know, in a relationship with this guy? He seems to have anger problems. You know what they say about guys with anger problems in, you know, in domestic situations. But all I'm saying is that it's not an ideal trait. You need to watch that. If you keep getting in fights, you're never gonna get better. Some of what I said must have gotten through because he looked at least slightly cowed.
悪かったな。心配させて。
He coughed and glanced away awkwardly.
黒子が目を覚ましたみたいだぜ。
I turned around to see the piglets staggering to their feet.
お前たち覚悟はできてるんだろうな。
He cracked his knuckles. Okay.
さあ、悪いことは言わねえから、ホテルを岸につけてくれ。
The piglets only crossed their arms over the chest and shook their heads. They seemed pretty determined.
な、見ての通りだ。これじゃ拉致が開かねえし、投げ飛ばしちまうのも無理ねえだろう。
That doesn't mean you had to throw them. And suddenly, before I knew what was happening, Mitarashi had dropped to his knees and clapped his hands.
頼む、行かせてくれ。
Now he's just begging. It's kind of like the 7 stages of grief, you know? Hey, you don't need to do that.
どうしても
Was
裏
it
での
7 or
ことを探したいん
6?
だ。
I don't remember exactly how many stages.
仲間のために何もできない自分が何とも情けなくて仕方ね
Mitarashi.
え。俺はもう我慢できねえんだよ。仲間が危険な時にじっとしてるのはわかるだろう。
He looked up into my eyes. I understand what he's getting at, but... Okay. You know, it seems like we have a choice, but you know, it's, in a lot of the parts of this game, when we have a choice, we don't really have a choice. Absolutely not. You know what? No. I can't go easy on him. Have to be firm. Absolutely not. How can you even think you'll be able to find him? You can barely stand. For a moment, he looked taken aback, but then his surprise turned to a grin.
そのお前のこびない感じ嫌いじゃないぜ。店の客にはいないタイプだ。
Art. Obviously.
だがな、俺は俺で引けねえ。仲間が危険なのにこれ以上寝てるなんて自分が許せねえんだ。
He's really not gonna give in, huh? Alright, Saki, time to put up your dukes? Crack your knuckles? No. Alright, fine, but I have a condition.
なんだその条件ってのは。
If you're going to go look for Urube, I'm coming with you.
何
And don't overexert yourself like, say, throwing people around. The 2 conditions, I guess. So there you go. If you won't accept my conditions, I promise I won't let you leave, even if I have to glue myself to your legs to do it. Okay.
面白いこと言いやがるぜ。
He patted my head.
分かったよ。その状況頼むぜ。お前を連れて行くし、なるべく無茶はしね。
Really? Oh, thank goodness that worked.
でもよ、これからどうするんだ?
It was clear that the piglets weren't going to move the ship, no matter how many times we asked. We needed a different plan. They're helpful most of the time, but there are some things they just won't budge on. Let's head back to your room and figure out a plan.
今はそうするしかねえか。
We walked past the piglet, who was still nervously gesturing no, and headed back to Mitarashi's room. No. The poor piglets. They're just, they're just doing their job. Even if it's helping a crazy pig man, it's not like they have a choice. They're like brainwashed, I guess, or something. I don't know how brainwashed they are, like how deep it goes. Like actually like a cult, or is it just magic? I guess maybe it just doesn't really matter. It's just an excuse to have like a bunch of minions, maybe. But while Mai read her book next to us, Mitarashi and I discussed possible tactics.
黒子がおとなしくホテルを岸につけてくれりゃ一番手っ取り早いんだけどな。
I really don't think they're gonna do that though.
頼んでもダメ、力ずくでもダメ。ましてや泳いで渡るのも今の俺には到底。くそ、八方塞がりじゃねえか。
Calm down, I'm sure there's a way.
だな。俺はこういう時、頭より先に体が動いちまうタイプなんだよ。
Just give me something to punch. He groaned and buried his head in his hands.
くそ。こんな時あいつがいてくれりゃ話が早いんだけどな。
Who? Your boyfriend?
スバルだよ。
Yep.
作戦を練ったりみんなをまとめるのは俺なんかよりあいつの方がよっぽど向いてるからな。
He acts all tough, but I guess Mitarashi actually really respects Shido. I gotta admit he's right though. If Shido was here, we'd... Wait, that's it. All I have to do is figure out what Shido would do in this situation. Just pretend to be Shido. Just like get all those years of police work and education into your brain. It's that easy. Well, first, Mitarashi, in situations like this, we have to stay calm and examine all the angles.
お、いきなりどうした？はは、さてはスバルの真似事をしようってわけか？
Hey, don't tease me. I'm being serious.
悪い悪い。
You gotta put on the gamer glasses first, Then you'll truly be Subaru. Or Shido, whatever. Subaru, Shido. Now, to get out of this, we're gonna need the help of the piglets. I ran through all the things we knew about them. We know they won't hurt us. In fact, most of the time, they're very nice to us. I'm assuming Hogstein has given them fairly specific orders to that effect.
まあ、そうだろうな。
On the other hand, he's also forbidden them from doing certain things, and they won't do those things under any circumstances. Things like taking the ship back to the dock, for instance. I took a deep breath.
で、結局どうすりゃいいんだ?
He frowned. Well, I think they'll help us as long as whatever we need isn't overridden by an order from Hogstein, or overrides his orders.
なるほどな。でも、優先度が高いことってなんだ?
I imagine their highest priority is to help him achieve whatever he's trying to achieve, but what is he trying to achieve? Wait a minute, that means... Oops, I didn't mean to load. I wanted to save, because I feel like explosive insight coming on, so I just wanted to save before I do it, in case I screw it up. Yep. I had, my intuition was right. My intuition in understanding that there's gonna be an intuition-based gameplay mechanic coming up soon. Well, I need to focus. The highest priority for the piglets is going to be helping Hogstein to achieve whatever he's trying to do. Well, of course, that will be their top priority. That's the point of all this, right? Hogstein is obviously enjoying watching us play his games, and it seems pretty clear he's hoping those games will kill us. I think he'd do just about anything if he thought it might be entertaining. We've come close to a bunch of times, but Mitarashi's always been there to look after me. So the piglets are pretty cooperative as long as we don't get in the way. Maybe if I study them harder, I can understand them better. Right? I'm not sure if they're actually friendly or just very dedicated. They seem nice though. That's why they took care of Mitarashi on the third night. He hasn't said anything, but I think Mitarashi's still in quite a bit of pain. Considering that the point of the games is to kill us, it seems weird that they help us out. If we aren't going to interfere with the games, why go out of the way to help us? It's nice to know that someone's willing to help us out with everything that's happening. So, what's going to be higher priority for them than the stuff Hogstein forbid them to do? Well, get a bottle of ketchup, put it on the floor, and then you lie prone and crawl over it, right? That's all you do? No? That's another game. I don't know. Otherwise, you just wait for like a stealthy ninja to break you out of. You know? Maybe, because I'm thinking like, well, we could ask them maybe to let us rejoin the games. We can lie about that and say, actually, we do want to rejoin the games. And then they'll say, oh, okay, and then they go, and then actually we don't, or something. I don't know. Or take care of Mitarashi, help us out, you know? I don't know. Like maybe pretend that Mitarashi's dying or something. Help us out. Okay, that's... Sure, that works. I don't know exactly how that exactly helps us, but anyway. He's putting us through all these games in hopes that they'll kill us, so... His ultimate goal isn't that we die, but we die in the game. Okay, so yeah, this is what I was saying, you know? Put us back in the game so that we can rejoin, maybe. Yeah, I think this just might work. Mai, we'll need your help. Can you do that? She looked up at me and nodded. Great. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm not sure exactly what their plan is. I headed back to the lobby to find a piglet. Help, please! We got a big problem! Is it actually the ketchup on the floor, you know, trick? Not, you know, not exactly, but something similar maybe. It seemed worried and moved toward me. I feel a little bit bad tricking them since they seem genuinely concerned, but we have to go look for Urube. I concentrated on doing my best to sound authentically troubled and be the best actor ever. It's Mai! She's missing! Something else. We're pretending that Mai is gone. The piglet looked surprised. I think she might have gotten lost. Do you think you could help me look for her? He nodded. Perfect. Just one more push. I'm worried she might have fallen into the water. We need to try and find her as soon as possible. Do you think you could get the other piglets on the ship to help us? This time, however, he shook his head. So you won't call all of them to go look. Not a problem, I planned for this, all according to Keikaku. The piglet looked up to me, concerned. Oh man, I hope this works. It's just, when Mitarashi noticed Mai was missing, he just ran off. I'm worried he might jump in himself to look for her. I mean, you've seen what he's like. But he's still hurt really bad. If he's not careful, he might die. Yeah, the piglet's full attention. Please, you must help us save Mitarashi's life. He nodded hurriedly and rushed out of the lobby. I hope that did it. Okay, so we're just pretending that Mitarashi might have jumped into the water or something? Because yeah, I guess the idea is that piglets do want to make sure that the guests don't die, because Hogstein didn't order them to, you know, kill them or anything. Only when they're in the games do they, you know, does Hogstein always say, oh, you know, if you lose the game, you'll die and everything, but he never really orders the piglets to directly try to kill any of the actual players in the game, I guess. In a few moments, he was back with several more piglets. Is this all of you? He nodded. Then let's start with the terrace. It's got a good view, so maybe we'll spot something there. With no noise apart from the shuffling of their footsteps, the piglets move off quickly in the direction of the terrace. as soon as they disappeared, Mitarashi popped up from behind one of the pillars. He has stealth 100. Very sneaky.
こうもうまくいくもんか。お前の言った通りだったな。
And I guess, well, I really thought we were gonna just convince them to make us rejoin the game or something, but I guess instead of doing that, we're distracting them so that maybe we could hijack the ship? Is that what we're gonna do? Thank goodness. I let out a sigh of relief.
お前もなかなかの名演技だったぜ。
Really?
ああ、女は誰もが役者だっていうのは本当なのかもしれねえな。
Is that what they say? I don't know. I've never heard of that, actually. I felt myself blush a little.
にしても、ゲーム参加者の命を守ることが最優先か。おかしな話だぜ。
Now, he wants to kill us, but he wants to do it with the games.
確かに。
For some reason.
これまでのあの野郎の行動や発言からすりゃ、それを一番楽しみにしてるのは間違いねえからよ。
Exactly. So if a couple of the participants just died in the hotel...
楽しみが奪われるってわけだ。
Which, yeah, I guess is the initial, understanding of Hogstein's intentions. But I guess it's not only that. As we learned, I think it was Urubei's route, or was it Shirobei? I can't remember now. It's kind of it's all blurring together. But we do learn that Hogstein is very obsessed with making sure that everyone dies in his games, because he never really kills them himself, right? There was that one time where, I think it was Urubei, but he was like aiming the gun at at him, and Urubei explained that Hogstein would never kill anyone directly for some reason. Like, again, I was thinking maybe he didn't want to take responsibility for killing someone directly. For some reason, like, if someone dies in his games, it's like, okay. But if he does it directly, it's not. It's weird. Anyway, Mitarashi grimaced, then cracked his neck and turned to leave.
さて、作戦の仕上げだ。ここは任せるぜ。
Yep, see you in a bit. He nodded and took off, while I headed after the piglets to the terrace. Is that how you say it, by the way? Terrace? Terrace? Alright, stage 1 complete. This should give us some time. I went around to each of the doors leading to the terrace and locked them from the inside. The piglets will be trapped, at least for a while. Okay, we just kept them out. Now, what else? Whoa! I just got back to the lobby when the whole ship suddenly shook, nearly knocking me over. I ran over to the window and looked out. We reached the dock. Perfect. Looks like Mitarashi did his part. After parting ways in the lobby, he made his way to the helm and steered the ship toward the shore. Alright, time to leave before the piglets get in. It's, I was gonna say Grand Theft Auto, but it's not a car, so what do you call this? Grand Theft Ship? Phew, that was close.
ああ、昨日は一日船で寝てたからな。久しぶりに地面に降りた気がするぜ。
He stretched and cracked his neck. Yeah, cracking your neck a lot. Mitarashi and I have been the only people to get off. I'd asked Mai to unlock all the doors in the terrace after we left. Do you think Mai's gonna be alright?
大丈夫だろ。騙しておいてなんだけどよ。黒子の奴らがちゃんと見ててくれるさ。
I guess we're gonna trust the piglets. I guess they're not the vengeful type, hopefully. Yeah, okay. I still felt a little bit bad about leaving her behind, but Mitarashi was right. She'll be fine. We also don't want her, around to complicate the plot. So, she'll just be benched, So what's her plan?
まずは浦部の数珠を見つけたっていうタワー前に行こうぜ。何か他の手がかりがあるかもしれねえ。
Okay.
そん次はレストランだ。
What? Why? Do you think there's gonna be something there?
何？腹が減っては戦はできぬって言うだろ。
Obviously. He laughed and started walking. I guess breakfast wasn't enough for him. More food. Nom nom nom. He really is like Goku, Or sort of. Or like Vegeta. Or maybe a nicer Vegeta. In Dragon Ball Z, Just eats a lot of foods, a big muscle head. This is... We found ourselves in front of the bloodstained hospital, or at least what was left of it. It looked like a giant hand had just come down from the sky and scooped it up There's nothing of the building left, there's a blackened crater. And
今や
then,
血まみれホスピタル跡って言った方がいいかもしれねえな。
on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said. I don't think I realized until now just how big of an explosion it was. In a way, it was a miracle no one had been killed by such a huge explosion. If Urube hadn't helped us at the last minute, if Mitarashi hadn't showed up to save me, we'd been so close to death, my body started to shake.
大丈夫だ。きっとなんとかなる。
Huh? He grabbed my shoulders and pulled me close.
俺がなんとかしてやるから。そんなに震えるなよな。
He put a hand on my head and ruffled my hair. I could feel the warmth of his body everywhere, okay? And suddenly my own cheeks felt very warm.
どうした？
And then we suplex him. You know, no. Yeah. It was too much and I shoved him away before I knew what I was doing. And then he fell, broke his spine, and then we accidentally killed him. But don't just do stuff like that.
なんだ。じゃあ一言断り入れたらよかったのか？
That's not the point.
やっぱお前はそんくらい元気があった方がらしいぜ。
As soon as I heard his laugh, the pretend anger I had summoned to hide my embarrassment sort of melted. I know he's just trying to cheer me up, but it's just, he seems like he's so familiar with doing stuff like that. Kind of bugs me, honestly. He's very experienced.
なあ。できるだけ暗い顔をするのはなしだ。せっかく浦部に助けてもらった命なんだからよ。
I nodded. You're right. We gotta save Urube. I want to thank him.
ああ、そうだな。
You know, he tends to, by the way, you know, he's like, he's so familiar. I guess, like, he's so familiar with head patting, you know, people. He tends to do that a lot. Is that just a service in the host club? That's his, like, special service? Head patting. Only, you know, it's a special service only for 5,000 yen. You can pay him, then he can head pat you, you know? That's why he's the #1 host. We looked around the ruins of the hospital a bit, but there was nothing to find. After a few minutes, we left and headed for Count Hogstein. Alright, I guess we're just gonna look around for Urube. I wonder where he is. I mean, probably he's probably in the fish tank, you know? At least in most routes, I imagine. So, we stood in front of the castle. Urube found Urube's bees here, right?
そうらしいな。
Mitarashi walked right up to the main gate and tried to push or pull it open.
くそ、開きやがらねえ。この中に浦部が囚われてるかもしれねえっていうのによ。おい、聞いてんのか豚野郎。とっととここを開けやがれ。
He pounded his fist on the iron door. Calm down, it's not gonna open, so let's see if we can find another way in.
すまねえ。つい熱くなっちまって。そうだな。うっかり閉め忘れた裏口があるかもしれねえからな。
Side door, eh? I mean, there is a secret entrance, but don't know, we don't know about that. We split up and searched around the walls of the castle, but came up empty-handed.
手がかりなしか。
Me too. I wish we could call the others, but they're in the middle of a game.
そういや、ゲーム中の連絡は禁止されちまったんだったな。
Yeah.
しゃあね。動き回った分、余計に腹が空いちまったし、飯を食いに行こうぜ。
The castle had turned out to be a dead end, so we headed back toward the restaurant. Nothing to do there. Let's just go eat. As soon as we got to the restaurant, Mitarashi placed his order and returned to the table, carrying several plates of food. You're gonna eat all that? He really is a sand.
俺に今必要なのは1にも2にも体力の回復。
Just training, you know? He's gonna train and become Super Saiyan. It's gonna save a day, right? It's gonna like do a Kamehameha.
昨日一日で睡眠を十分にとったからな。あとはエネルギーの充填だ。
He's gonna, you know, and then He's gonna shoot the energy beam and then blast Hogstein into the stratosphere. That's what he's gonna do. I just assumed he was hungry. I didn't realize there might be more to it.
つうわけでいただきます。
Without waiting for me to agree, he began to eat.
うまっ。やっぱり好きなものを好きなだけ食うのが一番だぜ。
You're just eating meat. You should have some veggies too. Yeah, you talk about nutrition. You need some other stuff than protein.
今日くらいはいいじゃないか。肉を中心に食べて手っ取り早く体力をつけないとな。
Ah, yes, of course. He's really shoveling it in. How on earth does he manage not to get it all over? I gotta say though, thinking that eating meat is gonna heal him seems like something out of a video game. Well, all you need to do is just find like a broken wall, break it open, and find some chicken in there, right? That's how you restore your HP. Before I could start giggling about it, however, he suddenly shoved the plate in front of me.
ほら、お前もしっかり食べとけよ。肉を食えば疲れなんて回復するぜ。
Okay, thanks. I took a bite of chicken and it actually did feel like power is flowing back into my body. In fact, Saki started like pulsating with power and she suddenly, you know, gained muscle. And now she's strong enough to destroy the castle herself. Maybe Mitarashi really can recover just by eating meat. It seemed like kind of a silly idea, but maybe if you believed in it as much as he did, part of it actually started to be true.
こういう脂っこいものと一緒に飲む炭酸ってどうしてこんなにうまいんだ
He's
ろうな。
just eating a bunch of junk food. He really is. I mean, he's Saber Alter, is what he is. He eat a bunch of hamburgers as well. Just like eat all that junk food. I realized that I couldn't help smiling at how. I realized I couldn't help smiling at how quickly he put all that food away. I guess it makes sense. I don't know. It feels weird to me. That sentence feels weird to me. I couldn't, because usually I would say I realized I couldn't help but smile at how quickly he put all that food away, you know?
なんだニヤニヤして。
He narrowed his eyes. Oh, nothing. This food is good. I guess watching someone really enjoy their food just makes me happy. It's hard to explain. It's like, what's it called? Mukbang, you know? That's literally like a type of content that you can watch. You watch someone eat food, you know?
ああ、そういうもんか。
He had a leg of chicken in each hand and glanced at them for a split second before shoving both into his mouth.
そういや、昨日の話が途中だったな。
What?
ああ、両親が事故で死んだ後、俺がどういう風に生きてきたかってな。まあ、大した話じゃねえから、無理して聞く必要もねえけどよ。
No, I do.
って、やけに積極的だな、おい。
Sorry, I guess I got a little carried away.
そんなに聞きたいって言われちゃしょうがねえ。飯食い終わるまで昔話の続きといくか。
He picked up another massive hunk of meat and leaned back in his chair.
事故の後ばあちゃんに引き取られた俺はあれにあれだ。
I guess attitude problem. I assume he became a delinquent of some sort.
ばあちゃんは俺が困らないように
Seems the type.
よくしてくれたんだけどよ。それが逆に居心地悪くてな。変な気の使われ方されるってのはむずがゆいっつうかなんちゅうか。な、全部ひっくるめて俺がガキだったってことなんだけどよ。
He gave me a grin, but it seemed a little bitter and his eyes were sad.
家にいると気を使われちまって息苦しかったからよ。どんどん家に帰る時間が遅くなって夜の街をうろつくようになってな。気がついたら中学に入ってから高校を卒業するまであれに荒れてたってわけだ。
He really, I mean, you know, the thing is, again, yeah, that was my first impression. That he was like a bad boy, you know. I guess ironically, he's matured from that. You know, usually in a lot of stories, the character develops, you know, away from being that. But he's already got over that, you know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the characters actually have already had their like anime, you know, like there's like a, you know, what was it called? Like coming of age, you know, a coming of age story. It's like almost all the characters have already done that, except maybe the younger ones, you know, like Meoshi and like Wakasa. Otherwise, everyone else seems to have already been, you know, already went through there.
売られた喧嘩をことごとく買っていったら 地元の不良を束ねるまでになっちまった。そんなもん褒められたことじゃねえが。
Leading one of your local gangs, eh? He's a gangster. Or like a yakuza or some sort. But yeah, it seemed like everyone else is mostly have already developed their character, you know?
あいつらはあいつらで居場所が欲しかっただけみたいなところがあって、どうも放っておけなくてな。
Which is weird, you know, normally, actually, usually anyway, in a lot of cliche anime, cliche romance anime, it's often, the characters don't actually mature yet, you know? You have to be the one that, initiates them to become, you know, functioning adults, is the idea. And that's basically what Mayoshi's story was, right? You know, Mayoshi and, I guess, like Wakusa too. Anyway. Yeah, he just beats up a bunch of people. He's a big old delinquent. Does a lot of crime.
最後まで面倒を見てやんねえといけない気がしちまって、抜けることもできなくてよ。
Became a leader of a local gang. What kind of gang was it? A biker gang? Yakuza kind of gang? You know? No. He scratched his head awkwardly. He's always cared about other people, even when he was leading a gang. It's like, somehow you twist that into like a positive, I guess. I'm not surprised all those other kids were willing to follow him. It was like part of like a shonen battle anime. You know, that's what his life was.
今じゃホストだもんな。
What happened?
なあ、高校卒業間際、唯一の肉親だったばあちゃんが死んじまったんだ。
Oh no.
亡くなる間際のばあちゃんの言葉は今でもよく覚えてる。あんたが何をしても構わないけど、母親と同じように人を幸せな笑顔にできるような人になってほしい。散々ばあちゃんには心配かけたはずなのに、それについては何にも言わねえでよ。もっと家にいればよかった。ばあちゃんと話せばよかった。不良なんてやめて真面目に学校も行くべきだった。後悔ってのは取り返しがつかなくなってからするもんなんだよな。
Mitarashi. I thought I could see the beginnings of tears at the corners of his eyes.
いけね。湿っぽくなっちまった。まあそんなわけで、天涯孤独になった俺が生きるために選んだのがホストの道だったってわけだ。
Yes, very easy. Just, you know, just become a host or whatever.
どうだ？それほど面白い話でもなかったろ。
He laughed. No, it was. I mean, well, maybe not entertaining, I guess, but I'm still happy I got to hear it. Entertaining.
それは話した甲斐がある。
How do you like... I mean, is it that easy? I don't know if it's that easy. Transition from being like a gangster, you know, just directly into like a host at a host club. I don't know. Can you just do that? You can't just do that, Mitarashi. There's no explanation there. Like, how happens to like social skills, you know? Like, how do you... I don't know, maybe he just learned on the job, you know? How to put on like makeup as well, because you gotta look pretty, you know, even if you're a guy. Most likely you have to like know how to dress good and, you know, do your hair properly. But I guess he's just an anime character. He just naturally can do that, I guess. Anyway. He'd been through a lot, but it had taught him to care about others. Even if he's rough around the edges? No. Even if he's rough around the edges, it's not because he wants to hurt anyone. As he like, you know, beats up a bunch of people. I don't know about that. He tends to physically hurt people, is all I'm saying. I bet all he wants to do is make people smile with his fists. Maybe that's why he started doing what he does in the first place, so he can make women smile. That seemed about right.
けど、この話はみんなには内緒だぜ。
He held his finger up in front of his lips.
特にスバルのやつにはな。何を言われるか分かったもんじゃねえ。
He let out another laugh and grinned. Why do you tell me all this? I mean, it's pretty personal stuff.
正直よくわからねえ。けど、昨日お前が母さんと同じ言葉をつぶやいただろ。
Nothing like seeing a kid smile.
ああ。それを聞いたときに、なんだかお前になら話してもいいかって思えたんだ。 うちの店に客として来る女とは全く違うからな。なんだか楽しくなって身の上話までしまったんだろう。
I forgot for a moment just what Mitarashi was, but that had brought it back into sharp focus. Anyway, how did you, I mean, I don't know, what are the standards for being a host at a host club? Because I don't imagine his grades are what got him the job. I don't know. Maybe he just had connections, you know? That's just how he landed the position. Anyway, do you tell your customers too?
しねえしねえ。っていうかこの話を他人にしたのなんざ初めてかもしれねえな。
Oh. I was glad he felt like he could tell me about himself, but I couldn't help but feel sad about the fact that it was his job to be nice to women. You know, once you make your hobby or passion into like work, I guess, you know what
どうし
happens?
た？神妙な顔して。
Ends up being cold and impersonal. I don't know. I looked up to see that Mitarashi had leaned in to examine my face. Oh, nothing. I'm fine. I blushed, and he grinned.
急にあんな話をされちゃ戸惑うのも無理ないか。別に同情してほしいとかじゃねえから気にしないでくれよな。
It's okay. I understand.
よし、気を取り直して。
You want to go look for Urabe?
その前に一気に話しすぎて喉が渇いちまったから飲み物取ってくるわ。
You're still hungry. He laughed and jogged off toward the back of the restaurant.